be obsessed with work and building? All right. Let me quickly give you what we are going to cover. I'm going to show you where the problem is coming from between the reason why people don't like working, all right? That is the problem. And then we're going to I'm going to show the difference between work and building. What does it mean to work? What does it mean to work carelessly? And what does it mean to be busy? All right? And what does it mean to build? Now I'm going to share part of my stories, and I'll give you 7 principles you need to know when building. All right? And most importantly, I'm going to show you what it means, or the importance of rest while working. Right? Are you ready? Yes. Let's get started. Okay. Why do most people have the wrong relationship with work? The reason is because of their mind. Now, I have one principle that I wrote down in my book, Are You the Problem? It says, the mind is a fertile ground, and the things that your environment give you, the thoughts that you have, the things that you see, the things that you hear, all of them put together help to shape that mind. They also help to shape your worldview, the way you see and perceive life. All right? So that being said, many people, they grew up watching adults complain about work. They watch the way they say, me, I cannot go to work today. That work is so tiring. That work is this, that work is that. And they absorb these things. And they started knowing that, okay, I don't need to do much. I don't need to struggle to do this. This is going to come this way. No. If you don't work on that particular mindset towards work, there's going to be a problem. All right? They painted work to look like stress. They painted work to look like what we should not get into. So instead, we started pushing ourselves towards things that are easier, things that are convenient. They also painted to us that we should seek after things that are immediate, that we should seek after immediate results. That is to say, people no longer have the patience to build something that will last. We no longer have the patience to build something that will last beyond them. They started pursuing things that are immediate, things that are now. So work is not something that happens to you. Work is something that you happen through, that is something that you have to do. It's something that it's part of you. All right? It was Gandhi that says, your belief becomes your thought, and your thoughts becomes your words, and your words become your action. So if you are believing that you have to do easy work, and then you don't have to stress yourself, and then you have to walk to a particular point, and then you rest. You know, the idea of rest for us, as we grew up to see, now I'm still talking about the mind, the idea of rest for us is that we need to work and make a certain amount of money, and then we now go and chill in a particular island, now go and chill in a particular hotel, now go and chill in a particular city. We go to Maldives, we go to Singapore, you know, all those big and beautiful cities. We go and chill and relax there. We go and do holiday in name those places that you know. All right, those names are not coming to my head. That's the idea that we have. So you walk, and then you get to the particular point, and then you retire. All right, and many of these billionaires these days, like one of the books I was reading, Millionaire Fast Lane. All right, he was talking about how that he retired himself on time, and then I'm thinking this idea of you work and then you now retire yourself, which means you have to work to a particular point and then you now get a particular amount of money and then you no longer work again. So I begin to question those ideologies. What is really the idea of work? What is work? And what does it mean to be obsessed with work? Does it mean you have to work yourself to the point where you are now tired? Does it mean you have to exhaust yourself? What is truly the idea of work? All right, and I'm going to explain that now. Work means applied energy towards a particular or a specific outcome. Work is applied energy towards a specific outcome. So you can't say you are working when you don't have an outcome in mind. So if you don't have an outcome in mind, then you are just busy. All right? Working carelessly means performing tasks without direction. That is, you complete things, so you are doing things. All right, you're performing tasks. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that, but they are not aiming towards any direction. All right, you woke up today and then just realize that I have to wash plate, I have to clean the room, I have to do this. What direction are they moving you towards? I'm not saying you should not wash your plate, you should not clean your room. That's not what I'm saying. All right, that's not what I'm saying. And I'm going to clarify that. Now, what is building? Working in service of a future you are deliberately constructing. That is building. Working in service of a future you are deliberately constructing. It means that those actions that you are doing, those tasks you are performing can be towards a particular future. You cleaning your room can be building towards becoming somebody that has a good habit, a good what do you call it again? A good hygiene. Yeah. That's cleaning your room, making sure your dishes are done and all of that. You're building towards becoming somebody that has good hygiene. But another person could see that, oh, I'm busy, I'm doing this work, I'm doing that work, so I don't need to be doing all those things. You know, when I have money, when I make money, I will pay so and so person to come and do those things for me. Because we are seeing those things as not part of work. Because the only thing you define as work is this professional work where you have to sit on your laptop and you are typing and you're doing this and you're busy all day. And sometimes what you're busy all day doing on the laptop is not adding to anything you are building in your future, or those things you already picture in your future. And it becomes a problem. A builder asks questions before they start anything. This thing that I'm doing, is it in any way constructing or building towards my future? All right? Is it building towards my future? Let me give you the orientation of a builder. You're performing the same action. It could be designing, it could be writing, it could be coding, it could be speaking as I'm doing. And those things are work, right? But the difference is not in the action. Because you can be doing a lot of work in a day. Those things are action, right? The difference is not in the action. The difference is in the orientation. The builder knows that everything I am doing is like a brick or a block that I'm putting in the building. Have you ever wondered why they call it a building? That is the house that's already built. Why they call it a building? As though it's a work in progress. Because you have to consciously, if the engineer that is building the house, he has to consciously ensure that every block, everything they are doing, every block they are laying there is building towards the final picture they already have in mind. Any block that is carelessly placed would disrupt the entire building. If you miss any block, it's going to disrupt something. So the builder's orientation is not in the actions that he's taking, it's in the things that the direction towards those actions he's taking are headed to, or are going. Not in the action itself, because actions primarily are temporary. All right, the actions you are taking, they are for the moment. But if you have a different orientation, you see that these actions put together are heading towards somewhere. That is the idea of atomic habits, where tiny actions that you are taking cumulatively are heading towards a particular direction. When they build up together, they will form something. Are you understanding that? You guys are following? Very beautiful. So the first question you're going to ask is, what future am I constructing with this action? All right. It will now inform your decisions and the things that you do. It will also inform your relationship. It will inform your society. It will inform everything that you do. All right. Then secondly, no single task is the building. There is no single task, no single one task that is the entire building. One block cannot form the entire building. As they also say, one tree cannot form a forest. All right. So it means that every task placed with intention adds to what you are building. Every task placed with intention or done with intention, done excellently. Remember last month I talked about excellence and success, that you can't get to success without achieving excellence. So you are doing this intentionally building towards success, building towards the future that you are aiming for. All right. So when you know you are building something, work stop being a burden, but start becoming a contribution. So when you know you are building towards something, the work you are doing today, it stop being a burden. You now say, oh God, I'm so tired of this. Oh God, this thing is so stressful. Oh God, why is this person shouting on me? Oh God, this. You stop complaining, because you are seeing the work you are doing as contribution towards your future. You are paying. You know that is it Isuzu that they used to call it? That thing that the people used to contribute, right? You don't know what contribution, like that contribution that they used to come together and do the contribution. Whatever name, I know Isuzu, is it a job? Okay. So that contribution, at the end of the year, your contribution will count. To come together and ask, okay, this is how much you're able to contribute in the entire year. That is how it is. Your everyday task is building towards something. So the work you are doing for each day is building towards that. And I must clarify something before I get to the next thing I want to talk about. That many of us, we have the idea that I just need to sit down on my laptop and work for hours. I need to work for 5 hours. Sometimes that 5 hours you are working, 2 hours could have been more productive for you, because you think locking in, as is trending now, just lock in. Locking in is sitting down for hours and doing something. Whereas that sitting down for hours could be you frustrating yourself, because you don't even know what you are building towards. Sit down, plan your life first. After you've planned your life, then you're building towards that direction. Let me give you an illustration. Let me tell you my story. 2023. You see these lightings that I have now? I bought them. Not because I wanted to just have the best of lights and the best of everything. No, it was not because of that, or because I wanted to feel like I am this or that. The reason why I bought them is because I already had in mind what I wanted to do. You see the idea of value session? And I'm having plans that I may have to do this thing weekly. All right. The idea of value session, the idea of YouTube videos, the idea of content was already pictured as far back as early 2023. And towards the end of 2022, early 2023, I already pictured it. I'm going to do that. I started buying those equipments. Any money that was entering my hand, I know that those money was not for enjoyment. They were for building. All right. So I kept buying things that will help what I'm building. So you see, you don't just go to the market and buy things that you want. You buy things because they are necessary for what you are building. All right. You don't just go and do things because you feel like doing them. You are doing them because they are contributing to what you are building. All right. It was in 2024 when I was in 2023. I was living in a particular part of this environment in Suka, and it was not enjoyable because I was not having the best of network or light. So I had to move to another part of the environment. So that part, as I was told, there was light and there was network. But when I got there, was a different scenario. So I stayed in that particular house for 6 months. And within that 6 months, what I kept telling myself was that I am not lazy. I'm like, you know that moment when you're telling yourself, no, I am not lazy. It's the resources that I don't have. No, because when you enter your room, network will go off. There's no light in there. Like the entire street, that entire part, like transformer had spoiled. Everything was bad. So I kept questioning myself. I kept telling myself, Israel, you're not lazy. Israel, you're not lazy. It's the resources that you don't have. I know it may look like I'm pushing the blame to external factors, but I needed to be sure that my inside is constant because I already know the vision that I have. I know the kind of person that I am. I'm a choleric, for crying out loud. So I cannot be acting like I am indifferent about work and all of that. So I needed to prove to myself that I'm not lazy. That was the first one. So I did everything within 6 months, and within that period, I was carrying my bag, my heavy bag, and my laptop to school. After classes, I would look for somewhere to stay and work. It was through there, and I met people that introduced me to a place that I was staying to work. All right, and that continued. That continued till I was able to move and leave that place. And when I left that place, I got to another place that was better, although light was not stable there. So the question still continued, or the interrogation between myself still continued, that I am not lazy. What if I have the best of the thing that I need? Will I be able to produce the result that I need? Or will I still give excuses? Am I giving these excuses because I don't have the equipment that I need? Or because these things are not available? Because then, that was when I started fighting the idea of comfort. Not comfort zone. Comfort zone is an ideology, not a place. That's my idea of it. Let me explain. The idea of comfort zone is you may have the things that you need, but you're not pushing further. And sometimes you may not even have the things that you need, and there's no effort. There's no effort to leave that place where you are. Because sometimes you feel like leaving the place that you are, where that you already know the things that are available there, you are getting to inconvenience, you're getting to discomfort. So the idea, your body rejects discomfort. So you just do everything possible not to get to discomfort. All right, that's the idea of it. But comfort on its own is good, because you need to imagine having to, every day you have to work, and you have to carry your laptop and go to a place that you will sit uncomfortable. There is noise, there's distractions. You have to be able to work. You won't be able to focus. I can't even do work for hours there. But imagine staying in the comfort of your room. There's strong internet. There is constant light. And that was what pushed me to install solar. All right, because I did not want to depend on Nigerian NEPA. I had to get something that is dependable and is long-lasting. I can sit down for hours and tell myself, Israel, you are not lazy. So you can sit down here and work for hours. And I proved it to myself. All right, I am still proving it to myself that I am not a lazy person, as I was painted to be, because I heard words. My manager told me words. The CEO of the company I work, he told me words. Yes, they kept saying words. Sometimes they don't even say it directly. They will say it indirectly. So it kept putting things in my mind. You understand what I've been saying so far, right? Let's proceed to the 7 principles of an obsessed builder. All right? So these principles are not theories. They are practical steps you need to take if you want to become an obsessed builder. All right? Let's get to the first one. The first one is build with a specific future in mind. Build with a specific future in mind. You don't just start building and you're not willing to honestly face the reality. Not willing to honestly sit down and plan what your future is going to look like. All right? And you cannot build into a future that you're not willing to face. Okay? So you have to tell yourself the truth. All right? I wrote down here, telling yourself the truth is the foundation of your real plan. Once you accept where you are with full honesty, then you can plan for the future you want. You can't be lying to yourself that I am this, I am this, I am that. When you've not accepted your current situation, you tell yourself the truth of where you are, And then you now plan where you want to go. Because many of you are very, very good at pretending. You can lie to everybody. But one thing you can never do is lying to yourself. Telling yourself those sweet words, those affirmations, they are sometimes good, but they do not help you many times. You have to be real, be practical. This is where I am. I have a consistency problem. This is where I am. I have a commitment problem. This is where I am. I have a this or that problem. Once you recognize that, then you know where you're building from. I have a personal hygiene problem. I have a this or that problem. You have to be specific. And then once you do that, you now be specific with the future you want to build. I am building a future where I am building a future where I will be successful. No, that is vague, that is random, that's generic. You have to be, I'm building a future where I want to impact 10,000 people. You're adding metrics to it now. I'm building a future where I have to wake up 4 a.m. every day. I'm building a future where my company will be making $1 million every single month. It is specific, such that when you get to that future, then you've gotten to that point, then you can picture again and build higher, aim higher. All right, not you are vague with it and you don't know when you've gotten to the future you've planned for, and you don't know where to now aim for again. You're just going, you're just moving. All right. Then number 2, accept responsibility for the work and for who you are becoming. Accept responsibility for the work, number 1, and 2, for the person you are becoming. Because the problem that many of us have is that we do not accept that we have this work to do. We do not take responsibility. And there's a difference between taking responsibility and accepting responsibility. Taking responsibility sometimes may look like you are being forced to do those things. Somebody gave you those tasks because you are working somewhere. Someone asked you to do something because the person is your leader. That is taking responsibility. You just have to go to that church because, somebody have to reach out to you and talk to you, and you don't have to answer all those questions. You are doing these things because primarily you have to do them. Not because you've accepted that genuinely I am owning that these things will influence a particular outcome. Not because you know that if I do this thing today, it will influence an outcome tomorrow. But I'm doing this thing to build towards something. Do you hear what I said? Influence an outcome, which means the work you are doing today, they are influencing an outcome. The work I'm doing today is building me to become somebody tomorrow. All right? Because you're intentional about who you are going to become from the work you are doing. All right? This is why I'm a big fan of the means justifies the end. Because it is from what you are doing today that will add up to where you are going, and it will change you. It is a work of changing you, building you. I think I was listening to a particular entrepreneur, and he said entrepreneurship, primarily, it is not about the business. It is about who you become in the business. Because if you build a business of $1 million monthly, a business that can make $1 million monthly, and then someone else gives you a business that is not making up to that. Maybe the business is making $10K a month, $10,000 monthly, all right? And because you've become a person of $1 million, it won't take long before you start achieving that. Before you start making that business to become that second business to become that. You understand that, right? You've become the person who makes $1 million monthly. All right? You are not aiming to become. You are now the person. The business is not. It's not the business. It is you. All right? So accept responsibility. Let it be what you wear. All right? The builder accepts that whether or not they had support, the result is theirs to produce. You're not the kind of person that say, my parents did not help me, nobody is coming to fund me, no help is coming. That is nobody's business. Your primary concern is that you are the one that controls your outcome. That whether there is help or not, I control my outcome. So I am taking this responsibility because I am sure that once I do this and do that, this is the expected outcome. My outcome is not dependent on people. It's not dependent on the outside. It's dependent on what I have to do. That I succeed or I don't succeed is dependent on the work I put in. All right? So, then number 3, protect the work from your own moods. Protect the work from your mood. It sounds somehow, right? Protect the work from your mood. You have low days, you have high days, you have days when you feel like doing the work, and you have days when you feel like I should not do this. The work you are doing should not be dependent on how you feel. The work you are doing should not be dependent. The most important thing gets done first, before the distractions, before the noise, before comfort, before you feel like it. All right? Obsession, as I always put it, is structural. Obsession doesn't just happen. It is structural. You have to build it. So a builder that is obsessed has to be obsessed with systems. He has systems, he has time blocks, he has rituals, he has non-negotiable first actions. All right? Because you're not just a builder who just wants to build. You have things that you do repeatedly, because those repeated actions is what produces results over a long period of time. Do you know the way they build a house, as I've explained earlier? You lay blocks upon blocks upon blocks, and then intentionally in a particular direction, and then it eventually becomes what you've designed, what you've planned. All right? That's why they have building plan, and then they start building the house, following the building plan. All right? And then at the end of the day, now achieve what you planned. You get it, right? First it was a picture, a mind picture. Then you now build it to become a reality. Okay, so protect your mood. Imagine if I am in the middle of the building, the engineer now said, I'm feeling like this house, I don't feel like we should continue this house again. Let's just break down the house and, let's look at something else. No, it cannot grow that way. No, it cannot. All right? You must make sure that your mood does not affect it, because your mood is not a reliable guide when to work. Your mood cannot tell you, it is time to work. Oh. I was teaching a group of people on Sunday, and then I was asking them, has there ever been a time where you don't feel like going to class? And they said yes. And I asked them again, has there ever been a day that you had exam and you were praying in your heart that they should cancel that exam because you don't feel like leaving your house for that day? And they said yes. And I asked again, did you let her go for that exam? They said yes. Because you know that exam does not care about your mood. The exam holds whether your mood is right or not. Same thing that should happen when it comes to work. Your work is constant, irrespective of how you feel. All right? And I'm going to bring a balance to this later. I'm going to bring a balance to it. So let's get to number 4. Number 4, your work compounds even when you cannot see it. The compounding effect of work is such that the little things you do, the Italians call it poco a poco. Little by little, you are building upon the things that you are doing. Poco a poco, it keeps building up, till it becomes big. As somebody now begins to wonder, how did you get here? Oh my God, how did you get here? How did you know all this? How did you know so much? It is because you've been building little by little, book by book, study by study, video by video, podcast by podcast. They keep piling up, they keep layering up, they keep layering until you now get to the point where you are today. It doesn't happen by mistake. Success is not by chance. You get it? So, small consistent actions accumulate into something you cannot see until much later. So it means you must have the patience to build. I was listening to Olushola in a particular podcast recently, and he talked about the conglomeration of time. You may not be able to pronounce that correctly, but it says it's the conglomeration of time where you don't have time and you have time. You don't have time means like, he calls it there is no time and there is time. I'm putting in my own words now. You don't have time and then you have time. You don't have time means you have to work with speed. You have to work with urgency. You have to move fast. As I always tell my team, these things needs to be done fast. These things, I want it now. All right? And then you have time means there is no way what you are building now will yield results now. You have to have the patience of building this thing till it gives you the result that you want. All right? You cannot, a pregnant woman cannot give birth in 5 months. She has to wait through the gestation period, through the period of incubation, and through the period that it now gets to 9 months, and then she gives birth. And then a child cannot grow into becoming an adult all of a sudden. It has to go through the period of infancy, to the period of becoming a child, to the period of adolescence, then to adulthood. It does not happen by chance. It compounds. It builds on the previous. All right? It builds on what was there before. So whatever you are learning today builds on what you've learned before. So you cannot say that the knowledge you've had before, it's all there is. There is more. All right? So the work is happening beneath the surface. That's why you need to continue. The audience are not there yet, fine. The revenue is not here yet, fine. But something is compounding so long as you continue. Something is compounding. You are doing this, you are doing press up and muscles are not coming out. You are reading every day and it's not looking like anything is happening. You are speaking every day and then your ability to speak is not even clearing up. You're not even making sense yet. Continue. Continue. Time will happen to you. Yes, time will happen. Although time on its own does not change anything, but your consistent improvement in the actions you are taking will change. Will change everything. All right? So, number 5. Ship imperfect things. Ship imperfect things. Ship is SHIP. Ship imperfect things. Builders iterate. Procrastinate and perfectionists procrastinate. Builders iterate. Perfectionists procrastinate. It was AFL that said that what is lacking in iPhone 14 is the innovation of iPhone 15. What is lacking in iPhone 15 is innovation of 16. 16 for 17. What is lacking in your current product now is innovation for the next version. What is lacking in you now is the innovation or the improvement of your next version. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. No. People get bored of perfect things. Have you not noticed? The human world is imperfect. Everything around us is imperfect. So if you are waiting for everything to be perfect, even God does not reveal the entirety of himself. I know you're expecting me to say God is imperfect. No. God is perfect, but God does not reveal the entirety of himself. You keep learning of him more and more. All right? You think you've known all of him until you now realize, even the angels in heaven, they keep beholding his glory and they keep bowing down. God reveal entirety of him. You will see him finish. You will see God finish. All right? So, you ship imperfect and then you iterate. Iterate means you keep improving on it. You keep working on it, you keep making it better. iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone 3, it's not the same thing as iPhone 14, iPhone 15, iPhone 16. They keep improving. You may be saying iPhone 16 is not different from iPhone 17. It's all the same thing. Oh my God, there's difference. There's difference. There's different in the design. There's different in the touch. There's different in some of the. There's little improvement in the operating system, in the iOS. All right, and that's what makes it better. That's what makes humans love it more. That's why people keep paying for more. All right, the camera becomes slightly better. Some becomes slightly better. The operating system becomes slightly better, and all of and all of that. And that's what makes it more enjoyable to use. Do you understand? So the best version is definitely not not the best version. So there's always a better version than the first one you launched. In fact, the day I launched Scribe AI, the next day I had to start rebuilding because I had massive influx of people getting to use the product, and I realized that I was getting feedback, I was getting comments. I tested everything, in my own eyes it was good, but the next day I had to rebuild. The very next day I had to rebuild. I had version 2. The version of you today, it's not the version that you have tomorrow. So which means you keep improving yourself. Let there be new things that people can keep learning from you every single day, every single month. I always tell my people around me, you cannot come back to me 3 months and find me the same way. That 3 months is a big time, yeah, but there must be something tangible that has changed or improved about me. Whether in my environment or the things that I've learned or the things that I'm doing, there must be something that has improved or changed about me. And I've been doing that intentionally for the past 2 years. So now check how far I have gone and how much I've grown. All right. So number 6, build inner order before seeking outer power. Build inner order before seeking outer power. I will put it this way: make your internal constant before seeking for external or whatever thing that comes in external. Make your internal constant. I tell people around me that my joy is always constant. I can get angry at you, I'm shouting at you. The next minute, you see me laughing with somebody else. Because that anger was not coming from my heart. That thing you think I'm angry, I'm just burning my face and what is that one doing? It's all part of, let me just try to correct you, but I'm not angry. I am not angry. Squeezing my face is not from my heart. Because if I do that, if it's from my heart and I move to the next person, I may transfer that aggression to another person. You understand the difference, right? Yeah. So, social currency is powerful, but the spotlight reveals everything. And people are precise with their assessments. So, do not build your external profile faster than you build your internal foundation. Build your internal foundation first. So that when people start dragging you out there, you're not moved. All right, I wanted to talk about how that I was dragged recently and how that they almost like got into my head. I'm like, well, it's not necessary. Let me not give anybody unnecessary publicity. All right, so don't let the external control you, because you are building, and many times when you are building, many people will not understand you. Many people, I'm telling you, 90% of the people around you will not understand what you are building. I don't have to explain to them. Sometimes I allow the people around me to catch up. All right, I allow them. Oh, you come and ask me questions. Oh yeah, this is what I just did now. But for me to tell you before I did them, never. I allow them to catch up. The essence of that is because sometimes explaining to them might make them kill your vision. So I just allow you to catch up. You understand? So don't build the things you are building on external factors. Let it come from internal. Let the internal be your foundation. All right? So you do not know what you are capable of until you are genuinely serious. If people around you are always saying this or saying that, saying you do not know what you're capable of, sit yourself down and walk. Don't let the noise. And there's a problem I'm always seeing now. We are focused on the highlight. We are so driven by the highlight that there's no form of internal growth. Just small work that you want to do. Or you do not even work for 10 minutes with carry camera. And I'm not saying it's bad. That is what today requires. And I'm going to be doing it. Sincerely, I'm going to be doing it. Yes. But beyond doing it, let it be that there is work that you are doing. You are actually working. You can sit yourself down and without the filming, without the things that you are shooting behind the scene and all of that thing, you're actually doing the work. All right? You're actually putting in the work to do it. Build inner order first. Set your room in order first before you start seeking out external power. Build inner order before seeking outer power. Outer power is those social things, those social currency, those things that you get in the external. But first off, you have to build inner order. Let it be that you have the culture of work. Let it be that you have work culture first, work ethics. Let it be that you are dependable first. I always put it this way: confidence follows competence. The reason why sometimes you are afraid to take on a job is because you know you are not competent yet. So the reason why you are afraid to talk in front of a camera is because there is nothing here. Somehow, there's nothing here. You're afraid of what will I say? Am I sure of what I'm saying? Are you sure this thing I'm saying will not? Are you sure it's making sense? So build inner order first. What is inner order in terms of speaking? Read. Take time to read. Take time to build experience. There are certain things I cannot share if I don't have experience. Certain things I've read, but I cannot talk about them yet because I've not walked them yet. Certain business principles I know, I will not teach them yet until I have built my business to a certain point. I have experienced those things in my business, then I can talk about them. All right? So I cannot have 2 months of hiring people and then I start teaching you on hiring. What do I know about hiring? But that's what many people do. They've not even hired anybody yet they can drag people that are hiring people. So build inner order first. This thing is very important. I'm taking so much time here because I want to emphasize something. Set target that you want to reach and reach that target. Draw plans, set goals, and achieve that goal. That is building inner order. You want to do 10 push-ups, do the 10 push-ups. Don't stop at number 8. Do you get it? You set to-do list. Finish that to-do list before you come online to start talking. All right? Do the internal work first. Build character, build consistency, build competence. Competence. What is competence? The ability to deliver on the work you are given to do. That is competence. If I'm given a design job to do, can I deliver on it? Yes. Back in 2024, I was questioning myself, are you sure I really know design? Because the problem I was having then was that I was having an issue with a particular person not liking my style of design. Not that my design were not good. All right? So I had to go back and learn graphic design, like from scratch, watching videos on how to do this, what courses. So that I have to be sure that this thing now, I have competence. And I've been doing this thing long enough to have built consistency in it. Because that's the problem with many of us. You've not done this thing long enough. That skill, you've not done it long enough. You're just jumping. in this year alone, you've learned like 4 different skills. All right. Then character. One of the foremost mistakes I made when I was hiring like 2 or 3 months ago was because I was just bringing people in. I was not checking for character, and it costed me. It costed me, yes. So, doing the internal work first means that you have to build character, you have to build consistency, you have to build competence. These are 3 C's. Yeah, if you have to do the inner work first, you have to build the internal work, build the inner order. Do you understand? All right, let's proceed. Then number 7, your story does not end here. Whatever thing that is happening right now is not the end of the story. This is just part of what you will tell in the story. Whatever thing that is happening right now is an interlude, not a conclusion. Interlude means it's what will connect to what will happen next, not the conclusion of the story. So there is more chapter to write. Once this chapter is over, there is another chapter to write. Your story, how can your story end there? Look at me. With the visions that God have shown you, with the plans that you have, how can your story end here? You're going through a lot now. You're suffering now. Things are not working the way you want them to work now. And you're trying to give up. Why? Because you think your story will end here. You are building something. And there are hard times when you are building. There are phases when you get to. And those things are very difficult to build. All right? So your story does not end here. You must be intentional about making sure that these things that you're building, it goes beyond you. See beyond now, see beyond yourself. It was my biology teacher in secondary school that used to tell us, see beyond the cane. That she's flogging you and she's telling you, see beyond the cane that she's flogging you. Because she understands that the essence of flogging you is to discipline you. All right? And to help you see that what you did was wrong and a way to grow you. Because the Bible says he chastises those that he loves. All right? So, the principle, the mark you've reached may change. The things that you are going through may change. But the principle does not change. The principle is, no matter what I achieve tomorrow, I will still continue my work culture. No matter what happens tomorrow, I will still continue the ability to work. I will not stop. I will not stop working. If I start making $1 million tomorrow, will I stop working? Will I retire and then take myself to Bahamas or take myself to a particular remote island and stay there and enjoy my life and stop working? So there is more chapters to write. There is more visions to bet. When you achieve a particular goal, see it this way. I brought a board here, but I did not bring my marker, so I cannot like draw what I want to draw now. I have to like do it like so you understand. See, it's like you are climbing a mountain, and when you get to a particular point in the mountain, there's still more height to climb. So you are just here. There's still more. So you have to like picture again, see the vision again. Go back to your drawing board again. See that there's higher heights to climb. All right, there is more chapter to write. Your life is not about now. It's not about now. It's not about now. You're only seeing now, but there is more chapter to write. You are still in chapter 2. There is still chapter 20. So there is chapter 3 to 20 to write. Do you understand? Do you understand? Now I must tell you something very, very important. In all of the things that you are building, in all of the work you are putting in, because I've told you that hard work is important because it helps you build competence, right? But you must understand that rest, which is the next part I'm going to talk about now. Pay attention to this. Rest is part of the work. It's part of the work. Rest is not a reward for the work. It's part of the work. That's what you must understand. Because the idea of the hustle culture that we've built now is that we build to a point that we collapse. We walk and walk and walk and walk, and we are so walking, and we collapse. Let me tell you the wrong strategy that we use. I would have drawn it is walk, 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 collapse, recover, repeat. Walk, 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 collapse, recover, then you repeat it again. That's what we keep doing again and again and again and again. But the right model is you walk, you have strategic rest, you walk, you have strategic rest. You walk, you have time block within the day. There's no way you tell me that within the day I don't have time to rest. All right? There is no way I will not have time to rest within the day. It's not possible. It's not possible for each day, because I understand that rest is part of the work. It was 3 months ago, like prior to 3 months ago, I used to fall sick every month. My sister would always complain, is it that you are AA? Is it that you are this? What could really be the problem? Are you not eating properly? What is like, she was really, really complaining. And then I now find out that it's not actually because I don't eat properly, because I'm intentional about the food I eat. It's because of my resting. And I can work for so long, and then when I now collapse, I will have to take 3 days off. Now limiting the amount of work I can do, now limiting the things I have to do for that period. Sometimes the whole week, I won't be able to do anything, or be so unproductive for that whole week. Or keep having crises at work. Alright? So, what did I have to do? I have to start taking periodic rest, that's 1. 2, time blocks within the day. Time blocks means I'll work for a period of time and then I'll rest for a particular time. I'll rest for a particular time, and then I'll continue working again. I'll do that like 2 or 3 times in a day before I now have the night rest. And I'll ensure that I have a specific time that I have to sleep for the night, and I have a time that I'll wake up. Right? If I don't have anything I'm doing, I'll go and lie down and rest. Because sleep, stillness, deliberate disconnection from that thing is important. It's important. It is part of rejuvenation, refresh, recovery is part of the work. You cannot tell me you are building a future where you have to be impacting tens of thousands of people, and then by the time your body gets to that future, your body cannot function. You cannot tell me you are destroying your... I had a friend back then. This guy was seeing money, but he could not eat properly. This guy cannot buy food and eat. Cannot buy good food. There was one time he had to go and pluck onubu. That is bitter leaf. To cook bitter leaf soup. Go and buy the bitter leaf. No. This guy went and plucked. He could not. You know, as guys now, we want to cook. You just rush and just cook the food. The guy did not have the patience to cook the food in a way that to wash the bitter leaf in such a way that it will remove the bitterness and all of that. And that thing, some might have small. So now use the thing, just wash the thing small and use it to cook. This thing washed this guy for 3 days. Hey! He now came to me and said, Jesus, Israel, I don't know what to do. And I sat him down. You are the fault of your problem. You are the reason why you are. Look at me. I used to come to my house and eat as your friend. Look at me. I'm intentional about the food I cook. I'll buy this and buy that and buy that, put egg, put this, put that. It's because I want to be sure that what I'm eating is good. I will not want to cook rice and now use oil. Now use only Maggi and salt. I will not put crayfish. Me, if I have money, I'll buy fish and put inside. It's because this is the body that God will use to do the work He wants to do on the earth. And I'm not taking care of it. I'm not resting properly. What if the body now breaks down and the body can no longer move? The body is now feeble. How will I be able to do the work that God wants me to do? So see that rest is part of the work. Retreat is part of the work. So sometimes you think retreat is just retreating to go and pray. Retreat is retreating to rest. And God worked for 7 days and rested. God worked for 6 days and rested on the 7th day. Bible said, and God rested. You, Alpha and Omega, you don't want to rest. beginning and the end. Don't rest. You will break down, and all of a sudden you'll be in the hospital and you won't be able to do those things you're supposed to do again because you refuse to rest. Okay? So, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. I heard this quote from somebody, it was very powerful, I forgot the name of the person. Almost everything will work if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. That thing, you're looking at the laptop and you're not understanding anything. Unplug yourself from it. Go out and take a walk. Go and take a walk. Go and refresh. Sometimes there's this my set of friends. Just call them. Are you around? Did you cook? Let me just come to your house and come and stay. I just go there. Sometimes I'll buy the things. This last Saturday, I did everything and then it was not working again. I just stood up, left my house, called one of my friends. Are you at home? Did you cook? They said no. I said okay. I bought things and I went there. We cooked and we ate. We had fun. We saw a movie and all of that. And all of us, we relaxed and I came back and I was refreshed. That distraction from that thing. Because if you keep worrying about that, it will not solve the problem. But that distraction from it will help a part of my brain refresh. Then when I now approach the work again, we're able to attack it. Don't let everybody say you have to be facing the work all the time. It will not help you. I'm telling you the whole truth, it will not help you. So I'm summarizing with this, right? I have one philosophy that works so well for me. It says, massive thought, massive execution. You can't have a big idea and you're backing that big idea with little actions. So I have a big idea, I must back it up with big execution. Massive thought, massive execution. So be obsessed with what you are doing, because obsession is a decision. Right? Obsession is not a personality trait that you have or you don't have. Obsession is a decision that is renewed every morning. So every morning that you wake up, you have to be obsessed by what you have to do. I am building something specific. My work serves that future. That work I'm doing now, it serves that future that I'm looking towards. Okay? So it is not the frivolities, that those things that happen around, that you just jump from here, that you have to record. Once small money start entering, start recording yourself coming down from a car, climbing the stage, this one, and recording your studio. You know, some of us, you've planned that once small money enter, you buy monitor, you buy a blue and green light, usually red and blue light that they use. Now put it in your workspace, and then you now video like this, and then you put yourself as you're working, and then you're typing computer, so it looks like you locked in. You now put one motivational background music, and then you now put one caption there. That thing is not work. Oh, I'm telling you, that thing is not work, because that thing that you are seeing is highlights. Make sure that you are doing the work. You are doing the work that is towards what you are building. Do you get? Be obsessed. Fall in love with the work. That's what I've been trying to say so far. Fall in love with the work you are doing. Fall in love. There's no other way I can put it. If you fall in love with the work you are doing, you don't need motivation to do the work again. Because each day that you wake up, you don't need a reminder. Sometimes you don't need an alarm to wake you up. You are falling so much for this thing that you are doing. All right? So I'll put it again to you. Massive thoughts, massive execution. That's all you need. That's all you need to shine your light to the world. That's all you need to bring your vision to life. Remember the world where we are in today. It is easy to ideate, and it's also easy to execute your ideas. But where work is to push the idea so that people can start using it, so that people can start benefiting from it. Why do I say it's easy to execute? Because if you have an idea to build a particular app, you can use Lovable, you can use Cloud Code. It's very easy to use it. Just type your prompt, blah, 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 and it will build everything for you. But to push that idea to benefit users. Okay. So I hope you understand everything I've said so far, right? If you have questions, drop them in the comment section. I want to be doing value session every week. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know how it's going to be. So if you have suggestions and things that will help me, drop them in the comment section. And I remain Aniekan Israel. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. All right? Like this video and share it with your friends. Thank you. I've shared the light for today. Bye, guys.